Our field Yates yesterday pointed this out, just looking at all the boxes that are being checked in Kansas City now, the extension from Mahomes and the Chris Jones contract, and 20 of 22 Super Bowl starters, plus the entire coaching staff, 5 of their top 6 running backs, 8 of the top 9 receivers. You see it there, 6 of the offensive linemen, and they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So it's been simply a magnificent offseason. And we talked so much, Louis Riddick, in the build-up to the Mahomes contract, about how his contract was going to impact everything else. And the fact that it was team-friendly, despite the extraordinary numbers, it cannot be coincidental that that gets done, and now they're able to get this deal done with their most important defensive player, which for a while there we did not expect them to do.
Yeah, look, I think, all along, their general manager, Brett Veach, wanted to get both of these guys signed. They had targeted both Pat and Chris as people who were, without a doubt, not expendable, obviously, and they wanted to get them both done, and they had been working on both of these. The cool thing about this, though, is the fact that Pat Mahomes also understood this. He understood that he could absolutely have just taken all of Kansas City's money, all of it. He could have taken it all. And he could have just ruined their cap, and they would have given it to him. They would have tried to make it work, because they knew that he was in a very unique situation based on what he brings to the table and how they feel about him. But he didn't do that. He didn't want to do that. He had the awareness of, hey, look, I'm going to be better off. I'm going to be able to really stamp, put my name on many, many, many different kinds of trophies here in the future if I can keep more of my guys around me. So he was able to be creative with Brett Veach and their salary cap management team as far as structuring this contract so they could get Chris in the fold, so they could keep other vital components, together, and they could go ahead and make this run, especially in the short term. Now, there's going to come a point in time where they're going to have to make some tough decisions, and there may be a player or two that falls by the wayside. But by and large, they have been planning for this. They have a method to their madness. And it started with Pat. It started with Pat's willingness to say, hey, look, it's not just about me. That's why this team is poised right now to really do some damage. And I'm telling you what, if all the rest of the teams in the NFL, I'd be worried. I would definitely be worried, because they have a very unique combination going on down there.
Let's talk about how worried those teams should be. Dominique, this is not a sport where usually, back in the old days, we used to do like Tiger or the Field. I mean, are the Chiefs a favorite going into this coming season that's that kind of prohibitive? Is it on that level in your mind?
I mean, it's the NFL, and the playoffs are single elimination. So I'd be hesitant to say that they're a favorite to that degree. And there are some good teams, especially one in that conference, that people should keep their eye on, and the Ravens, because their unique offense and their super talented defense. However, if you had to pick one team, that was the team I picked last year because of how they finished the season the year prior. And it's the team I would pick going into this season. I certainly think that if we're going to put anybody in that team versus the field conversation, it's the team that Patrick Mahomes is on, the team that's led by Andy Reid, and that's just locked up Chris Jones in the middle for years to come. Not to mention that they have Matthew in the background, who's covering up for a lot of mistakes on that defense. So this team is outstanding, and I would say maybe them versus the field, but I'd still go with the field, because the NFL is so unpredictable with single elimination in the playoffs. And any given Sunday, teams can step up, and injuries and all that stuff. So we're not at the Tiger Woods category yet, where it's them versus the field. But I do think if I have to pick one, I pick the Chiefs.
Tim, every dynasty in pro football history has been defined by the quarterback. You can refer to the dynastic team by who the quarterback was. Are we starting to see the beginning of the Mahomes dynasty?
Yeah, I think we might be, Greeny. But when you talk about the dynasty, you never leave out a coach. To me, I think you're not even entertaining this conversation if you didn't have the coach. And so, yes, the players are important, but you need the coach. New England needed Belichick. Brady was great, no doubt about it, but they needed Bill, and he might prove to be the most important piece. And I think that Andy Reid can be in that same type of discussion. I mean, look, you look at what he did in Philadelphia. I know that they never won it all, but I mean, I think it was 4 straight years in that NFC Championship game, and he was doing it with not as good of a quarterback as he has now. And so if Andy is not going to slow down, I actually believe that that is the most important piece to the puzzle in Kansas City. Not Chris Jones, and not even Patrick Mahomes. Are they critical? Of course. But I think the most important piece is the head football coach.
What is with the expression on the face of Dominique Foxworth?
I mean, just not even Patrick Mahomes. I guess Tim is right. The history, I guess the 49ers might be the one team that bucks both of those trends, because they crossed over 2 coaches with Seifert and Walsh, and they also went 2 quarterbacks with Young and Montana. However, don't ever say not even Patrick Mahomes. Everything is Patrick Mahomes. All things are Patrick Mahomes in this NFL for the foreseeable future. I love Andy Reid. He's jolly and great and smart and innovative. But Patrick damn Mahomes, guys, don't take him out of this equation.
What we're going to say,
Tim.
Lewis? Final word, Lewis.
No, I was going to say, you saw what Frank Caliendo did when they had the schedule released, and he did the impersonation of Andy Reid, and he didn't have anything to say. He just held up a 15 jersey. He was like, what? Yeah. What? This is what I got right here. He understands what he has. He
That's about
understands.
right. All right, I love it. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.